everything fell into place for me. And I thought, that's why I'm drawn to this, because they hug unconditionally.
Yeah.
They hug heart to heart, and you can hear them breathing with excitement and joy
Sure.
when you hug them, and they hug you back. And for me, that's what life is about, is never letting anybody pass through the system without having the love and experiencing the joy that they can actually have in life.
Feel the heat. No holding back, no playing it safe. We're taking up space, we're setting the pace. Louder than ever. Here we come. Unfiltered.
As we know, the current political landscape in South Africa is an extremely challenging one, and that translates into the challenges we face as business owners. And that's why we've got Unfiltered AF, and the AF stands for Authentic Founders. Now, every business owner in their own right is an authentic founder of their business, even if you did buy a franchise. You had to take that first step, and that took courage. So that was an authentic feeling of starting your own business or supporting your family because you were retrenched, or the reality is you couldn't find a job due to various reasons in South Africa. As we've heard as well, that currently the youth unemployment rate is standing at 60%, and we've got a 40+% unemployment rate in South Africa as it is. Now, we as Unfiltered have taken hands with Dr. Tracey Stewart, who is a clinical psychologist. And the reason for her being on Unfiltered, and you'll see her quite often, as there's another episode with Ronaldo Gous and Tracey as well, Dr. T as we call Tracey, or Dr. Tracey. And the reason for that is to also come from a psychological point of view, because at the end of the day, we're all just human. And there's certain things in us that affect our ability to process something. There's chemicals in our brains, there's past trauma, there's business trauma, there's personal trauma, and so forth. There's even crime trauma that happens a lot in South Africa. But also then for business owners, there's the trauma of cash flow challenges, staff stealing from them, losing a client can create trauma, or the fear of losing a client, the fear of losing income. And this is why Dr. T is with us, so that we can encourage you. And this is what we continuously do and strive towards, is to help you, the business owner, at the end of the day. And getting accomplished individuals in who can speak into that, who can help you be better. Dr. T, Tracey, it's such an honor to have you on Unfiltered today, and not only on Unfiltered, but be part of our journey. And I've known you for a couple of years. I know the value you've added to my life, to my business, because of the investment you made into me a couple of years ago, when I was facing a very specific set of challenges that caused a lot of trauma in my life. Tracey, welcome on Unfiltered.
Thank you, Elkan. Thank you so much. It's good to be with you. It's good to be with you in this forum. It's really, really nice. I'm so pleased that everything is going well for you with your show, and everybody needs to like and subscribe and do all those wonderful things that need to push this really through the roof. You're investing in some really, really good speakers who can come and speak into those who are perhaps not able to get into situations like this, where they can talk to somebody and they can hear you and reach out on the app that you have. I believe you have an app.
Yeah, we've got an app now, and you also on the app, Tracey.
Wonderful. Okay,
So-
you'll have to teach me about all of that, because remember, I'm a generation or two beyond these things, so I'm ready to be taught.
Well, it just shows us that you've got a wealth of knowledge to
Thank
impart
you.
on Unfiltered. So,
Thank
you're
you.
one of our panelists, as you know,
Thank
and
you.
The reason for that is, as business owners, it might be lonely. As an entrepreneur,
Yes.
it might be lonely. And also, some of the additional value you're also going to bring towards Unfiltered is having a chat with some of our guests, where we've got a panel discussion where they can actually give some of what they see in actual application, but you can then support that from a psychological, from a scientific point of view. And just being in the room today, you've experienced. You were with us with Ronaldo,
Yes.
with Kobus Visser, the Viking, who's also one of the episodes coming out.
Amazing, yeah.
How amazing was that, walking on
Ah.
glass? if you want to see that, go on my Facebook, Elkan
Yes,
Butler, go on my
yes.
personal Facebook. The video is going to be there. It was scary. I was dreading the whole... In any case, this is not about me. It's not about me, but it's about the mindset.
It is.
So Tracey, mindset is so crucial. And what that experience has taught me today is that if you can focus on your end goal, you can overcome fear because you've got a preconceived idea about something. And then if you can reshift your mind, reshift your focus, you can actually overcome something like walking on shards of broken glass.
Absolutely.
Please explain that to us, because the physics do not
They
correlate
defy
with...
that.
Yeah, please
Yeah.
explain that to us.
Gosh, well, mind over matter goes way beyond what we know it to be. I mean, there's so many different facets to it, and it would take a conversation on its own to get through all of those. But suffice to say that each one of us has a shadow, and we are often encouraged to meditate more, to read more self-help books, to just be with ourselves more, be more self-reflective. But always that shadow is there, and that comes out when there is pressure. That shadow, the shadow of the self comes out when there is pressure. And it comes out at the most inopportune moments.
Yes.
So often it throws us back. And as small business owners, we found a small business with great hopes and great dreams and expectations of ourselves and others in our environment, only to know that humans are who they are. They are driven by many, many different factors, most of all emotion. And they can let us down. They betray us. They are disloyal. They are all of these things that we have a fear of finding ourselves in a situation with. And so we have to get to the point where we can overcome the three biggest criteria for failure, and they're all at least endure it. So if we suffer a psychological setback of some sort, or a rather social setback, let's say we suffer a social injury with, as Ronaldo was saying, his exposure, public exposure about something he said when he was much, much younger. He's way beyond that person now. He's evolved. His life experiences have taught him more and how to better handle himself in situations. He's learned the art of politics, where there's you have to learn to become carefully aggressive, where you have to only be selective with what you let out, so that you can form allies with people who need to know more. That's very true for what happens in our homes, in marriages, in families, with children. It happens in our communities. It happens in business. It happens in small business. Fundamentally, human behavior is brought out under pressure, but it's found in every single facet of life, where there are communities. So I loved what Kobus says, where we have to look at each other and accept each other for who that person is. However, when we go back to what is the psyche behind this, the three criterion are my identity first and foremost. Who is it that I believe myself to be, and what is the illusion I have of other people's opinion of me? They may not know the truth about who I am. They certainly don't know who that shadow is. But when you don't disclose enough of yourself, people fill in the narrative for you. And once they've filled in the narrative, it can lead to damage of your identity, your personal identity. So that's one thing we have to always stand by, is the identity that we have, and have the courage to look deep inside and see where we can improve. As Kobus was saying, you see Mount Kilimanjaro, that's your goal, you're going to go for that. So your identity allows you to understand and believe in the fact that you can get there, come what may. Whatever your mountain might be, it might not be a physical mountain, it might be a challenge, which looks like a mountain.
It could be business debt.
It could be.
It could be a difficult discussion with an employee. It could be a partner betraying you. It could
Correct.
be you've lost millions, or whatever the case might be. each of us has got our own mountain, right?
Absolutely. Each one of us has our own mountain. And he also said we go through seasons. And while I believe that we do go through seasons, within every season is our mountain. There is always a mountain. Things take an upward turn, and there's always more consequence to the upward turn. There's more responsibility. It comes with more accountability. So as we grow, evolve, develop, all of those wonderful things, we have those mountains that we have to overcome. And as we overcome them, so we move forward in ourselves. The second most important thing is our sense of belonging. We are desperate to belong in a group, in a community, in the larger picture of helping people, making things better for others, making an improvement in life for ourselves and for everybody, which is why we become small business people. Well, it's one of the reasons, is because of that need to belong, the need to be seen to be doing something, to fulfill a purpose. And when that is covered with fear, it's very difficult for people to move forward.
Yes.
They don't know whether they can move into a group of people and feel like they belong. Often people are reticent and they stand back. Not everybody is a person who can just be a part of a new place that they go into with new people. So workplace is often the reason why people distance themselves and start a small business on their own. And the third thing, of course, is our safety. Our physical safety, our emotional safety, our spiritual safety, all of that has to be protected in some way by our identity and by the sense of belonging. So those are the three things. And when we are traumatized in any way, whether it's loss, crisis in business, whatever it might be, and there's a lot of loss around us in our political climate right now, economically, there's huge loss for all of us. And those kinds of things push us backward into a place where we have to reinvent ourselves. We have to renew who we are and think about coming back in a more profound way, have more impact, have greater impact. And as you say, your story is a phenomenal one, which is one of many, and it just shows how a comeback, recovery from that social injury didn't paralyze you psychologically. And likewise, we have to look at, I have to look at that and say whatever I've been through and the difficulties and the challenges that I've been through that may have been exposed or given negative exposure to the purpose I was driving, to the outcome I was trying to achieve, it doesn't define who I am. It hasn't taken my identity away. I know who I am, and I know how that will propel me forward. So this is a great opportunity to help those people who find themselves in a position where they've been traumatized to the point where they don't feel they can go on anymore.
Where they're numb.
They just want, yes.
Because you become numb.
And sometimes the numbness is worse than not wanting to go on, because
Exactly.
the numbness makes you function. But as an unemotional person, so
It's functional. It's
it's
very functional.
So narcissism can come out, bitterness, all of those.
It's self-preservation.
It is. And while we're in that self-survival mode, we cannot integrate or engage in any kind of...
Because you don't trust.
No,
you
there's
don't
no
believe.
trust, there's no belief.
Your identity is completely skewed because of the opinions of others.
Correct. And even highly perceptive people make naive mistakes in people choices. We know that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just the way we are as humans. But yes, it's... that is what I strive for. My background is in clinical psychology, but I'm more a conversationalist. I love to listen. I really enjoy listening, mulling over what the person might be saying between the lines, not necessarily to me.
Yeah.
And I'm just trying to, because I've been through so much in my life with personal loss, tragedies, a drowned child of 3 and my brother committing suicide. So personal loss, as I've been growing up, I understand what people are going through. And it's just wonderful to be able to listen and hear their stories. Some people just want to be heard. That's all they need. is just to be heard.
Yeah.
Just give them a platform. Perhaps not even say one word, just to give them that platform. So I'm looking forward to being here with you. I have done a lot of my studies overseas, and I came back just before my father passed and thought, what am I going to do? I enjoy writing, so I'm always writing a book, always ready to be published. A few of them have been, but as I say,
we need to make them available, right,
yeah,
Tracey?
right, we will. Thank you for that platform. A lot of them will send you to sleep. It's all about what makes the brain tick and how the chemicals function and feed the emotions, but nonetheless it's good reading for me, so I enjoyed writing it, and I'm sure it's good reading for some others. But if you need a sleeping method, that's good for you. It'll be very good.
Don't cut yourself short so much, Tracey, please.
No, it's just very theoretical. So some of
that's
them
brilliant.
are theoretical. Some of them are, one of them is what I'm busy on now, is a personal biography of explaining how women in particular think worse of themselves than perhaps even men do when they land in a situation where they've been socially injured.
Yes.
Post-divorce, post children leaving home, whatever it might be. So all of this has given me the knowledge that I have to be a part of making people see their lives differently, see themselves differently in their lives, and want to move away from where they're at and get beyond that. And I look forward to having these conversations and to engaging with panelists and with your guests and perhaps even with your audience.
Yeah. So, and this is what excites me, Tracey. It's obviously this wealth of knowledge, and also you speaking out of life experiences. But not only this, you've got a heart for children, and you guys are running a school where it's a very unique concept. If you can tell us more about the school that you're running, and also how you are also giving back to the community by doing this.
Thank you for that, Elkan. Yes, I have an affinity with special needs children, but more profoundly, on the more profound spectrum or scale, if you like. I was burnt third degree. I suffered third degree burns over my entire body when I was 13, and so I grew up as a very in an environment where there was changes happening in society. Lots was happening, and the bullying, because of what was happening with everyone who was uncertain about where they were at, really created a huge problem for me. So I knew that I had to do a lot of work on myself to get through that, to get beyond that, and to go forward from there. And looking back now, I think that was one of the biggest learning experiences of my life, about how people don't understand that the hurt that they're experiencing, which we can't see, it isn't physical, is why they hurt others. And so my affinity for special needs people, children particularly, started when I came back to South Africa after working overseas and finishing my studies over there, sort of mid-2000s. And I thought, what am I going to do other than write books? But that's lonely. What can I do? So I worked in Orange Farm at a couple of the places that they offer safety and care to children, and my love just grew for these children, particularly marginalized children. And that is what we are doing now. I have a phenomenal staff. I have had phenomenal staff. They've moved on, and we are now still building a special place for children who have different needs, different abilities. It's gone through some challenges, lots of challenging times because of the limitations on this particular model of business. However, we're still here, we're still around, and we are reinventing the school, reinventing how we manage it, the model of the business behind it, and going back to basics, which is fundamental human behavior, and how a hug, as Kobus was describing to me, how that hug made a child feel. And as he was saying that, everything fell into place for me. And I thought, that's why I'm drawn to this, because they hug unconditionally.
Yeah.
They hug heart to heart. And you can hear them breathing with excitement and joy when you hug them, and they hug you back. And for me, that's what life is about, is never letting anybody pass through the system without having the love and experiencing the joy that they can actually have in life.
Sure. This just made me think of something now that for a lot of business owners, and please don't hear what I'm not saying, but that their businesses have become their disability. And their businesses are busy giving them PTSD, giving them a preconceived idea about life, about what other people are, what business is about. And I think bringing this back to business, from a first-hand point of view, you understand business as well. So, and how we can then on this platform help those individuals to just know it's okay.
Yes.
It's safe. They are loved. And they can actually integrate into a community that cares for them, like we did with Quibus Nana.
Yes.
Hold his arm. Something simple as that. Whereas this platform can provide mentors for business owners out there,
yes,
who might be struggling or who might be at a pivotal point where, what's my next step? And then there's a community for them to support them in that. And what better community what better mentor to have you on board as well, that can also impart some of that skill and knowledge to them, just so that they can also navigate that.
Yes.
And that will come out in the heart of what we discuss here.
I look so forward to that. And how can we help business owners to understand that they think they have to do it on their own? And they don't have to. There's always somewhere where they can go to know that they're not alone. Business owners, they have to take on everything for themselves. Initially, they become the accountant, the bookkeeper, the auditor, the marketer, the brander, the
PA,
yes, and
the driver,
the driver, and they're doing it all themselves. And then slowly, as it becomes better, with the right mentorship and help, coaching, they can understand that they don't have to do this on their own. They don't have to do any of it on their own. And also, it would be better for them to take a step back and work on the business rather than in the business. And that helps them with their self-performance. They don't have to be client pleasers. They don't have to be staff pleasers. They can have the courage to build emotional endurance, to persevere through the tough times, instead of feeling the fear of those three things constantly. Because that's a constant in a small business owner's mind. So what if this doesn't work? I'm the one who's the face behind this. I'm the one who will be failing. And with social media now, we can condemn people in an instant, and we can wipe them off the map, literally, and that's the biggest fear.
Tracey, I know we're going to still have a lot of discussions, and I'm excited about the future. Thank you for coming on board onto Unfiltered and having these conversations where we can help shape destinies, shape futures of business in South Africa. Not that we have all the answers, but that this can be just a small form of inspiration for somebody to take that next step, to know it is okay and it is safe.
Yes. And come away from where you're at. Move forward.
Exactly.
Thank
so
you.
Tracey, thank you so much. I'm excited about this journey. Guys,
me too.
Go onto our website, unfilteredaf.co.za. We've got our app there. You can go and play around with it. Tracey is one of our panelists on there as well. You can go and message Tracey as well. Obviously, there's filters applied and so forth, so we don't want you to be bombarded. But if you've got a request, please send it through. Our team will get it to Dr. T, and then we'll see how we can best answer you and navigate this journey. Some with our other panelists or mentors as well, if we want to call it that. Guys, thank you so much. Please like, share, and subscribe this. You're going to see a lot more of Dr. T. She's going to be a monthly insert. You're going to hear more from her, profound wisdom, where we're going to unpack certain modalities about business, where we find ourselves in the current climate, and how can we navigate these challenges from a functional, but also a psychological point of view, how you can cope. Because I think that at the end of the day is the most important part.
Absolutely. So, thank you, Elkan. I look forward to it.
Tracey, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Cheers, guys.
Feel the heat. holding back, no playing it safe. We're taking up space, we're setting the pace, louder than ever.